welcome to The John Show with your host, John Doogie Clouser.
All right. What's going on, everyone? How are you? We are here on a new episode of the Juan Solo Show with your host, me, Juan D. Clouser. This is episode 192, right? All right, so so we're here on a new show. What's up? Hope you guys doing well? I know, already off the bat, right? I know some of you are probably like, John, I wish you could just go one episode where you weren't just incredibly high and baked about doing this. I'm like, but hey, that's the whole fun of this, is that I do that. I get incredibly baked, and because it's fun. This is just practice for me. I'm setting up lights. I turn the audio on, turn the camera on, and then I just talk, and I'm just like, whatever, dude. This costs me zero money to make, other than the weed that I get to smoke on this, to do this podcast, and it's legal in my state. The state that it's legal. Because I'm from Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri. It's legal there in Missouri. So yeah, hope you guys are doing well. What's up? We're already off the rails, and we're only like a minute 45 in. So I have my little pup over here. She's laying down. I brought her in because I told her I was going to have her on the podcast. She might or may not be the thumbnail. Depends on if I use her or not. Because if I use her, or she comes on, then she will probably be the thumbnail. If she doesn't come on, then she won't be in the thumbnail, I guess. And then this whole conversation, what I'm saying right now, will be completely irrelevant. But like I said, I hope you're doing well, doing swell. The winter is coming. Holy shit, is it coming? It's like the last 4 days has been in like the 30s, 38 to like 44. Today's supposed to be like 43. It's like, oh God, like I was so excited. Like I remember there's those days in the summer, and you're like, God, it's 103 degrees right now, but it feels like 118, and you're like, this sucks so much. And you're like, I just wish it was a little colder. But then in the back of your mind, at least for me, I say, I hope it's not, because if it is, then I'm gonna regret it. I'm gonna regret saying that, and then we're gonna be in the middle of this time, October. It's almost October, end of October, then November. Oh my God, Thanksgiving. So yeah, because as soon as Halloween is over. Because it's so funny, because Halloween is such irrelevant kind of holiday. It's like it's a good amount of people's favorite holiday, but it's such an irrelevant thing that when it finally does happen, I still have going out. I am so awful at this. See, practice. See, I would never do that if I was doing an actual movie, or if I was actually doing a real show, or I was doing something. I would never ever have a piece of gum in my mouth and be doing audio. But on here, I can. And I'm also really high. I'm like incredibly baked right now. It's so funny. I'm just high enough where I would forget my sunglasses at the pizzeria that I'm at. That's the kind of high I'm at right now, So just that fun, everyday, happy, everyone wishes that they could be like this all the time kind of a mindset. It's fun. It's awesome. It's a good time. I don't know if it's for everyone. I think some things you shouldn't. Like I don't really drink that much alcohol, because I don't think it's, one, I don't think it's that much fun. Two, it's just, it gets kind of like you can't. I took a lot of puffs today, and right before this, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't take that amount of puffs in shot form and be okay. Like I'd be done. The day's done. The day is done. But yeah, I just, Has anyone ever talked on a podcast for 5 minutes and just said absolutely nothing? But yeah, it's just, it's fun. I don't do that. I don't. I'm kosher for the most part. I'll do fake crab rangoon. It's like things like that. Like it tastes so good. Crab rangoon tastes so good. It tastes so good, and 10 times out of 10, it's always fake crab. It's always fake crab because it doesn't taste good with real crab. And it's such a waste of crab. Why would you take real crab and mix it in with not cottage cheese? I guess you could use cottage cheese, but cream cheese. Just one of those things. Just whatever it is. I'm just like, John, you've talked for 6 minutes and you have said nothing. Nothing. You guys like my salmon shirt? I love this shirt. It's one of my favorite. I wish it was a little bit tighter around the collar, but I also think like, John, maybe if you just got bigger traps, if my traps just got bigger, then you wouldn't really care. It wouldn't really matter that much. But it's just because your traps are so tiny that you're kind of like you're just kind of like just insecure with it all. It's hilarious because it is true. So right now I'm like going through, I guess, a bulk. I'm 34 years fucking old. Like, I don't think I can call them bulks anymore. I just think I just call it working out and just try not to die. I've passed that point where it's like cute, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm doing a bulk right now, or I'm doing a cut. It's like, no, dude, you're 34, so you saying that, you just sound like a cunt. So don't be that dude. You just say, I'm trying to live an active lifestyle. Which is dumb as hell in itself, too. So awful. It's such a gross thing to say. Like, people, it all goes back. I think it just all stems back to the fact that, like, there's these people on Instagram and they just, like, post body parts. And it's fine. And it's cool because it's all needed. It needs it. But it's just, like, the whole background behind you. So I try to make a world. As weird as it is, all this stuff that's behind me, I do it so it's just not a white wall, or it's not like the ceiling and the ceiling fan, because I do think these things are connected to a slight mental illness, or like mental instability. Granted, like, look at my stuff. Look at all, like, people would be like, dude, what the fuck is going on over here with all the hats? There's a fireplace. Like, dude, that's not a real fire, right? So there's things that we all have. She moved. I heard something move, and then I'm like, did she move? But I don't know. Who knows? This little dog over here. She's the most adorable thing in my entire life. When I saw her for the first time, I guess I should probably finish one thought before I go to the next thought, right? But it's just these. It's just, like, you try to make a world, and you try to make, like, some sort of, like, environment, and then you see some of these some of these people, and they just are, you can see the ceiling of, like, and, like, it's weird. That's weird. When someone, like, has it too close up to your face, and the recording, like, that's weird. Sometimes, like, that's weird. It's just, there's not good things. It's just not good things. And if I wouldn't have gone off a tangent one way and came back, I might have been able to be somewhat funny, but it's just weird. It's just weird. But yeah, God, almost 10 minutes. 10 minutes. I've gone just over 9 minutes, and without saying anything. But what I was gonna say about my dog, like, greatest little thing in the world. She's so awesome. Went to I was downtown Kansas City, and I drove all the way from there to Fordsville, Missouri, which is, like, right outside of Springfield, Missouri. So it's, like, southern. It's, like, just a straight shot south. Well, you go east, and then you go south for, like, a solid, like, 3.5 miles, and then, like, I went down there, and, like, I lost reception because like you got to go out in the middle of fucking nowhere, and like I went over like it was one of those roads where the creek will get too high and it covers the road. It was one of those things, and I'm like, I'm so glad I'm in an SUV, because I wasn't in an SUV, then I would be fucked, because I have a little Hyundai accent too, so it would just like my car would bottom out basically. And once I got there, I still had really, really awful signal, and I had to try to connect then to the Wi-Fi, which was also a fun little thing. And in the process of it, like the lady was like, "Oh, well, let me try to get my iPad. Let's see if I can get my iPad connect to it, and then from there you can connect to your stuff." And then, because I was just basically doing basically like a Venmo payment for the dog, and so while that time was going on, like they handed me, who is now Lola, at her name. So the breeder had oh yeah, I went to a breeder. It's a Cavapoo. It's one of these expensive little dogs. So like I'm not gonna I'm not gonna adopt on that. Sorry. I don't think I'm better than you. I don't think I'm better than anyone else. That's what I wanted to do. And so the lady, the breeder, had her Veronica. That was Lola's name. Like her, I guess her indicative name, before she gets adopted and are bought and then move on. So little Lola, it was me and her just out in this field. It was like a house on a hill, and then like down the bottom, like just like driveway, like gravel driveway. And we were just holding her, and she's just like just licking the shit out of my face, and just like licking my ears. And I'm just like, all right, I guess we're gonna have a pretty good little fun friendship here. She's been my little best friend ever since. And then we were like maybe 10 minutes into the car ride, and she like throws up. Cause she hates being in a car. She hates cars. Hates them. I don't blame her. One bit. Right, Lola? She's like just asleep. I don't know. I probably won't fuck with her, because I thought maybe I could like pick her up. I don't know. If she wakes up later, I will. I don't know. Maybe she'll be on. Maybe not. I don't give a fuck. I'll probably use her on the thumbnail anyway. I don't give a shit. But yeah, it is funny because, like, yeah, as a 35-year-old, like, because my birthday's in January, so closer to the 34, closer to the 35 than 34 year old male. It's hilarious. Like, yeah, I can't say things like, "Oh, I'm on a bulk," or "I'm on like a cut," like, because I'm not 20 years old anymore. Like, I have to just say it's simply just. I'm just trying to live a healthy lifestyle. I'm just trying not to die now. It's all about just trying to be able to walk when I'm 70. And that's the key thing now. That's just the key thing. But yeah, so it was so funny. Like I vary in weight all the time. So my lowest right before like midway through summer, I was like, I'm kind of small. I weighed 166 pounds, which is, I haven't weighed that small since I was a freshman in freshman in high school. And so I'm like, fuck, I need to start, I guess, gaining weight. That's what the old people would say. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing for the last about a month and a half now. Is just gaining weight. I weigh close to 182 now. Everything fits again. It's hilarious because you don't realize it until like all your pants, you're like, these pants seem like so kind of big on me. And it's like, well, fuck. And like, I shouldn't complain, because that's a lot of people would be like, well, John, that must be a hard life, that like your pants, you had to get new pants because you lost too much weight. And you were just being, I guess, I wouldn't consider myself more healthy. I was doing a shit ton of golf this summer. And now it's starting to get cold, so it's harder to do golf all the time. So I have to just do simulation golf, which is not the same. It's not the same at all. And so because I do that, and then I was working out all the time, and it was just summer, because it's usually what happens during the summertime. I always lose a lot of weight because I sweat all the time because it's so hot. And I refuse to use air conditioning in like my car and stuff like that because I love to suffer in that sense, because I think it's a strong mental thing, which is stupid as hell to do. The only time I ever do it is like if I'm going someplace that's important, I can't sweat through my clothes. But yeah, during the summer, like I'll pack like 4 or 5 t-shirts, 3 or 4 like shorts, and a couple pairs of underwear, because I know I'm going to sweat through everything at least once a day. At least once during a day during the summer, I sweat through all my clothes, and it's just, I'm just like, well, it's because I have big pores. That's what my mom says. So that's what she said when I was growing up. She's like, you just have big pores, so that's why you sweat more. And when you sweat, like it burnt. You just sweat through your shirts all the time. That's why it happens. I'm like, okay, alrighty, okie dokie. So yeah, so that's I don't know. That's my life. 60 minutes in, really have not yet again talked about anything. God, football. Yesterday was a sad day. You know, like I love football so much, and I follow multiple teams. You know, I have the Rams. Like, I guess teams that hang up in my office are the Rams and the Chiefs. Those are my teams because were from Missouri. They're both at one time Missouri teams. St. Louis, because to me they'll always be the St. Louis Rams, even though they were the Los Angeles Rams and they went to St. Louis. I think they even started off in Ohio. I believe that's where it started, were the Ohio Rams, and it was because the original owner of the Rams, his favorite college football team were the Rams, and so that's why he chose the Rams as the mascot. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And so, but oh god, they got the shit kicked out of them by the fucking Cowboys. Dak Prescott scored 4 touchdowns. We made Dak Prescott look good. That's awful. I hate that. That makes me so sad. I have really nothing against Dak Prescott. It's the fact that he plays for the Cowboys. And you know how it is. You either really like the Cowboys or you love the Cowboys. I really don't give a shit about either one. I don't give a shit about either one. It's just that it's the fans. It's always funny to see them. Because I would love to see the Cowboys. I would love... It would be like the Chiefs, like how like the Chiefs was like. I never thought I was ever going to see the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl. Like I know what last time the Cowboys went to the Super Bowl was at 95, 94. Let's see here. Let's Google. Oh fuck! Did you hear about that? There's a hockey player that got his neck sliced in practice, and he just died today. As of what's today? Today's Monday. Adam Johnson from the Penguins. So I'm assuming there's going to be a big thing on the Pat McAfee show because, you know, he's a Penguins fan. And I bet there's going to be they're going to say something about it. But yeah, he died. I guess this happened yesterday. Former NFL killed in hockey accident. He was in England. He was in England when it happened. Holy shit. What? Former NHL player killed in hockey incident in England. Yeah, guy's neck sliced. Happens all the time. It happened last year. Some player, I think from the Senators, I believe, got his neck sliced. Insane. I know just very little about hockey. Like, was it just this past week? It was like they have. This is the one thing. Like a lot of people are like, why don't other sports have a red zone like the NFL does? It's like the thing is, football has such it's such stop and go that you have the ability to be able to cut away and come back to a team and like nothing has literally happened, because they could be from on their own 20-yard line and they might have only got to the other team's 45-yard line. So like you could cut away to something else, see a touchdown, come back, boom. You've really not missed much. Maybe a long run, maybe a long pass, maybe a tip ball that was possibly intercepted, but then they overruled it. Something like that. That's about what you're going to miss. hockey, there is nothing like that. You can't just stop and go. It's just continuously go, 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 go. Basketball's go, 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 go. And then baseball's, but they're trying to make it go with that pitch count, which is one of the smartest things. Even the players are like now, like, actually, that pitch count, not a bad idea. I have things to do. I have a life. I don't want to be at a baseball field. I don't want to be playing a baseball game. Even they were like, professionals, the pros are like, I don't want to be in a game for 4.5 hours. Or there's some pitchers that are like, there's some batters who like rip off their lip. Remember Nomar Garcia-Parra, number 5 for what he played for Los Angeles Dodgers for a while, but then he also played for Boston. I think he played for Boston first and then went to Los Angeles because semi-Dodgers fan. Dodgers fan in the sense of like, I'll root for him when they get to the playoffs. That's how a lot of people are if you don't watch baseball all the time. You just think, I like a team, and if they make the playoffs, I root for them then. It's not like football where it's like it's 18 weeks. You have technically 17 games, 18 weeks. And then if your team, you basically know halfway through the season, okay, if our team's going to be a team or not. Pretty quick. You can, if you're not, if you don't live in denial, you figure out pretty quick if your team's going to make it or not. But yeah, even they're like, hey, this pitch count. But yeah, he used to do all this shit all the time. He would, the ball would come, ball 2, step out of the batter's box. He would put the bat down, like, regrip his gloves. He would like adjust his leg things. He would kind of like move his arms, his shoulders around, and then he'd get back in the box. So it was like, it took about, if it would end up being a full count, it could easily be like 15, 20, 25 minutes before this motherfucker either got out or he popped flied and or he got to second base, something like that. It was just great player, great second baseman, I believe he was a second baseman, and he was also, what I really remember him from was Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Shop. Remember that show? Because he that was like Ryan Reynolds, one of his first shows that like kind of made him big, and he was dating a girl because at the time, like, because it was like two guys doing a pizza shop and a girl. It's stupid concept. That's back when Hollywood had a lot of money, and there's a lot of coke going on too, so they would just make everything. That's the reason why if you see a lot of movies from the 80s, a lot of them don't make sense, and there's like 3-minute montages. The only reason why you have a 3-minute montage in a movie is because you're fucking doing a lot of coke, and you're like, we shot all this, we have to keep all this in, we have to, it's just, we have to. It's just what happens. It's just what happens. But yeah, Nomar Garcia-Parra played a guest role as the girl, like Ryan Reynolds' ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend for the longest time, and he was at that time, because the show was based in Boston, I believe, and so he was playing for the Red Sox at the time, and he was like the big deal for Boston. He was supposed to be their like new thing, and like that was when Boston was still going through that long drought of never being to the World Series because the curse of the Great Bambino, because they traded him to New York, and then once they traded him to New York, Boston never went back to the World Series ever again. That kind of thing. Don't know how I know that. I don't know. Actually, I used to really love baseball growing up. I used to love Atlanta Braves because TBS is it TBS or no TNT? TNT had is his name Mike Turner, the owner of TNT, because Turner Broadcasting Network, TV, I think that was the thing that he had. That was like a company that was part of the thing that owned TNT, because like remember like Monday Night Nitro, the wrestling, WCW, Monday Night Nitro, which would come on at 7. And then Raw is War would come on at 8. And so I'd watch WCW for an hour because I was never a big fan of it. Like, they had way cooler guys in the sense of like Sting, and they had like the Wolf Pack. I was a big fan of the Wolf Pack. And then like, NWO, they had cool ideas, but I was just way more of a fan of like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H. I was okay. Like, I liked to dislike him because he played a heel sometimes and he didn't play a heel. And it was so funny when The Rock was the heel. Like, I liked him. That was like my favorite time. I never looked him as a heel. They had, remember when then, what's his name? The Big Show, but he changed his name to the Big Show because he was like the Giant on WCW because he was part of NWO for a while because Hulk Hogan, Steve Nash, loved Steve Nash. Steve Nash was one of my favorites. But it was so funny, like, whenever I went and saw wrestling live, I'd always went and saw WCW. I think it's because the tickets were cheaper. I think that's probably why. And they're always in town a lot more. They were in town a lot more than WWF at the time, or WWE now. But yeah, don't even know how I got on that. But it's just, yeah, actually, I have no idea how I got into that. But there is one thing I did want to talk about, though. This is like really the only thing I really wanted to talk about. Y'all know about the Dwight Howard stuff? Just because this is going to be the title. The title of the podcast this week is going to be Dwight Howard Kisses. So I don't know if you're familiar with this. Dwight Howard played in the NBA. Got drafted by Orlando Magic. It was really good. Amazing. Number 12. Was like defensive player of the year was MVP, I believe. And then he kind of fell off a little bit, no big deal, but that's all besides the point. He plays overseas now. Apparently, though, he's a little freaky, which is cool. It doesn't matter. I don't really give a Frenchman's fuck what you do. He apparently he was in a threesome with two dudes, or a transsexual and a guy, and he apparently, like, I guess, like, he assaulted one of the guys because, like, he was already having sex with a transsexual. I don't know the word for it. And then he invited the other guy over, and that guy says that, that Dwight Howard assaulted him. But it's so funny because Dwight Howard's like, yeah, I kissed him. But, it was all consensual. And it's hilarious because Dwight Howard's just like open about it. He's like, okay, no big deal. But then the other day, a reporter, which was just such a dickhead move because, like, come on, bro, you already know the answer to this. Like, you already know the answer before you're asking. You're just being a dickhead. You know exactly why you're doing this. You're doing this on purpose. But he was like, so, Dwight, so would you consider yourself gay? He's like, I'm not going to answer that. And the guy's like, well, why won't you answer it? Like, he's like, come on, man. Like, he's like, why? And Dwight was just like kind of just moving on about it. He's like, like, I'm not going to interact with this conversation, this question. It's like, dude, like, but the weirdest thing is, like, dude, he was with a transsexual. And then he was brought. Then there was another guy. Like, yeah. I mean, it's not the most straight thing in the world, but but who cares? Like, why are you're asking? Because you're just being intrusive and it's rude and it's slightly perverted. And it's like, just let it go, buddy. Just let it go. Just let it go. You know the answer. Like, he was kissing two dudes. He was kissing a transsexual and he was kissing a dude. And this is all alleged, of course, because I wasn't there. Because you know what, I really don't care. I really don't even talk about it. But the only reason I'm talking about it is because of the title. But yeah, yeah. So that was the alarm. If you didn't hear it, that's gonna be the podcast. I did it. Now I can go work out or something. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye.